morning I was acting cool, cuz. Nigga, what's up? How gangster are you, cuz?
Hey.
I don't fuck with you, cuz. You disrespecting me.
Whoop.
I don't fuck with you, cuz. You disrespecting me. I go hard, cuz.
Hey, y'all. Happy Friday. I hope everybody's doing good today. It is a lot to get into. It is a lot going on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. It's been a long, 24 hours for me, child. It's been so much going on. But before we even get into the stories, okay, we're going to talk about a few other things. Yes, I'm rocking my orange today. Y'all say y'all like me in orange, so I ended up getting another little orange sweater. I thought it was cute. I was like, okay, orange. I'm trying to try other colors, you know what I'm saying? So I always appreciate the feedback, honey. But, oh my gosh, it's been a long 24 hours. I've been stuck at the dealership. I finally got my truck. So after everything that went down, I really appreciate y'all Discord because y'all kept me saying yesterday. Even my truck was like, T, take a break. And then y'all had me cracking up in Discord talking about, oh, damn, the damn car is a T-sipper. But it was a lot. And so let me say this. Now, last week, I talked about how a lot of people on TikTok were coming out and saying, the banks, a lot of the banks are closing. People are, going to their bank and the bank is gone. People's accounts were getting shut down for no reason. And, you had a lot of bootleg, bankers. Oh, I was in the banking industry for years. They don't do that. Banks just don't up and close. You know what I'm saying? Told me I was fear-mongering. And then what happened to me was yesterday, I was going to one of my banks. I have 3 different banks. I was going to PNC. And I remember when they came to the Twin Cities 2 years ago, the whole hype was, their physical bank. It's the first one in the Twin Cities, high yield interest savings, all that stuff. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. Way better than Wells Fargo, honey. So I go open up my account. I go there, maybe a few times a year, not often, but when I need to do certain transactions. So I go yesterday because when I made my digital deposit from my other bank account, it was taking longer than expected. It's supposed to be 24 hours. It still wasn't there. So I said, well, let me just go because I don't really keep a whole lot in Wells Fargo. Y'all know that. Wells Fargo's is literally here for show. Wells Fargo's trash. But I still keep it open just because when you need physical money, you have to transfer. You need a Wells Fargo. So I go up to the bank and shit you not, the bank is closed. Gone. Finito. I am shooketh. And they had been closed since November. This bank didn't text nobody. There was no email sent. They literally quietly just closed the branch and just disappeared. And then what was so crazy is, let me show y'all some of the stuff I had posted on Discord. As I'm just sitting there shook, because at this point, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, my bank is just gone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm checking my emails. Did I miss an email? Did I miss some type of notification? Because, I have a separate email for all that stuff. Nothing from this bank whatsoever. And there's only one in Minnesota. So people are like, oh, just go to there's no other PNC. That was the only one in Minnesota. So let me share my screen here. I was so distraught yesterday. So this was a sign. They just put up a sign. Permanently closed. November. They closed in November of 2024. Told none of us as customers. So I'm just like, what the fuck? I took pictures and everything. And so as I'm out there just, looking, this black man pulls up. And so he walks to the thing and he's like, what's going on? I was like, I just got here. He was like, the bank is gone. I said, yeah, I guess since November. So then he's out there kind of texting whoever he needs to text. But it's getting real out here. Y'all be thinking I just be trying to fearmonger and just be messy. For what? Be messy about what? About things that are really happening? But see, the difference is when I see regular people talking about stuff, I take the things that they're saying to heart. Some of y'all will only take things to heart if it's coming from somebody with a big influence, with millions of followers, or a celebrity. But when it's just regular people with maybe 3 followers, they're like, hey, this happened. You know what I'm saying? My bank account closed and my bank is gone. Y'all will dismiss it. Oh, they're just looking for clout. They're just, pulling stuff out their ass. The same thing happened to me literally a week later. I pulled up to my bank was gone. My mom, everybody was like, what do you mean it's gone? I said, I'm literally in front of the bank is gone. I had to call the dealership, everything, like, what do you mean? I had to send everybody proof, like, it's not here. That was insane. So, everything is, still online. I check my money, it's online, but I'm about to shift my shit around. Because if y'all can just disappear physically, that was the whole point of having another physical bank. And the fact that you can just disappear physically and then not let us know. But I know why they did that. Because the entrance to the Minnesota market should have been, when y'all was loud and, high yield interest, come and get an account, everybody was going to PNC opening up accounts. So y'all's exit should have been just as loud. Minnesota, it's been nice, but we're out. Deuces. They said nothing because they didn't want anybody to come and do a bank run and take their damn funds out. So that was crazy. It was crazy, but it's really happening out here. So that's proof. You know what I'm saying? It's really happening out here. For people who just think it's some type of weird conspiracy and people are just bored on TikTok. No, it's really happening. A lot of banks are closing down and people's accounts are getting shut down. And I'm always going to report real news, so yeah, I just had to share that with y'all because we were just talking about this last week and the same thing happened to me a week later. But yeah, thank y'all for helping me keep my sanity because I was just like this. I literally pulled up and just, they quietly closed, made no announcement, no email. Me and the black dude was looking, he was like, do you work here? Do you work here? Shit, we both looking at each other like, we're looking in the window and shit. Like, where did they go? No, all the nice modern furniture, the modern ATMs with the people, you could, it was like a real modern bank. So you could go to the ATM. There was people in the ATM. They'd pop up on the screen like, hey, y'all, how are you doing? And I mean, there was real physical people too, but there was also some type of damn spirit. Somebody's spirit was in the damn ATM. They would talk to you, give you up to you could take out to $20,000 in cash. It was a really modern bank, but they packed up shop on it. I was like, I ain't never seen no shit like this. Everybody was like, what? I said, the bank is gone. So I had to call all my friends who went and opened up PNC accounts. Like, y'all know the bank is gone. Nobody knew this bank was gone. Nobody got a notification. Nobody got a notice. So, child. Somebody said the Spider-Man meme. We was looking at each other and it was funny because he pulled up after I did and he did the 360 spin because I'm looking around did I walk through a portal and end up in the wrong side of town? What? It made no sense. It made no sense at all. It was insane. It was insane. And thank goodness I have two other banks. But what if that was my only bank? A lot of people just have one bank. That's why I've been telling y'all for years, have multiple banks. Have your money in multiple banks, multiple accounts, just in case. Because if that was my only account, then what? Y'all are no longer physically here. Y'all gonna mail me a check to, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna take probably a week. So, it was crazy. Oh, somebody said PNC did the same thing here in New Jersey. What? Wow. So they've done it in other states. Yeah. Somebody else says my bank closed down too, and I was disappointed when I went up there. Yeah, it was a mess. It's a horrible feeling, child, because you're like, damn, y'all just left my money and all. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, like I said, we talked about it last week. A lot of folks try to dismiss it as fear-mongering my ass. Some of y'all just don't want to face reality, and it's okay, but y'all gonna stop that fear-mongering word, because everything is not fear-mongering. There's a lot of stuff happening out here, and just because it's not happening to you does not mean that it's not happening to others. Just be happy that it's not happening to you instead of dismissing other people's experiences, okay? So now with that also being said, I also want to let you guys know my new deep dive is out. So if you guys, I had posted the thumbnail. Madia made this thumbnail. I just loved it. She's about to give birth. So she's not going to be posting on my Instagram page for the next few weeks. And most likely, child, I won't be either. But, hold up. Yeah, hold on. Count your days. Okay. Why did my, thing disappear? Hold on, my video's not on here. There it goes. All right. But yeah, so this is the new, deep dive for the month. That's why I haven't made no videos this week. I was literally, I've been working on this deep dive now for like the past few weeks, but it was a lot. So I just need to take a break from editing, rest my eyes and my mental. But it's called Secrets of the Sea, Mermaids, Sirens in the Marine Kingdom. You guys have been asking me for years to hit on the Marine Kingdom. So I finally did. And I just thank you guys for the amazing feedback I've been getting. A lot of people have been hitting me saying that they really enjoyed the deep dive. They learned a lot of stuff that they didn't know, especially concerning that, And again, believe what you want to believe. You ain't, just y'all been calling me crazy. That's fine. But these are just my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people had no idea about the Kodak situation, so I'm glad I was able to break that down. And then just, how a lot of the stuff that we deal with in the real world is tied around maritime law. You know what I'm saying? The water systems. I don't give a damn. I'm tooting my own horn. I don't care. My deep dive on the Marine Kingdom, best. I've seen a few. They don't top mine. So I'm a toot my own horn. Because I was working. I was like, I didn't want nobody to know I was working on that video because I get asked about that all the time. Like, do a video on that. But I'm like, I just still want to, it has to be right. And I was waiting for a few things to play out. So, yeah, I'm glad I did it. I'm really glad y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate the feedback. If you want to watch it, it's only available on the YouTube membership, Patreon, or if you are a Discord member. It's $5 a month. So the people crying, talking about, oh, it's not on YouTube. I don't post Not Nan Deep Dive on YouTube. I like to be able to freely edit and express myself. I don't want restrictions. Even if I was to post on YouTube, it would be taken down. So no, if you want to watch it, you got to pay for it. If y'all can pay porn star Adam $100 a month to keep him going, all I ask for is $5. So JB, nope, I have not done the Space and Aliens one. Nope, have not done that. This is just simply about the Marine Kingdom, mermaids and sirens. So I'm glad y'all liked it. I really, really appreciate the feedback. And so another thing I wanted to hit on was when I did my, I did the video on Saturday about all the white people out there marching on April 5th, the Hands Off March. And so that's gotten a lot of views. I guess for me, I have a few questions. What's next? Is there like another march? Was that it? I saw the white lady online crying about how her kids were bored. There wasn't no bouncy house. Ma'am, y'all are supposed to be marching for freedom. Bouncy houses are not included, okay? So I'm trying to see, like, what is the next step? What are y'all going to do next? I'm still not joining in, but I'm just curious. Is there going to be another step? Is there another march coming? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, on top of this, when I was in the video and I was talking about, because I was getting drugged by a lot of people in the comments section. I'm here for it. YouTube tries to censor and put a lot of comments on the back end. I was approving all of them. All the folks that were dragging me, the MAGA supporters, I don't give a fuck. Y'all have fun. The Kamala supporters, they drugged me, a few months ago. I'll let y'all get y'all's roll on because I don't care. That's your beef. You're projecting. But one of the things that I said in the video when I was talking about, the job situation, the manufacturing, because for me, I'm very annoyed about the talk of manufacturing as if this is something easy. And so I had made a comment in there that a lot of people don't want to do these manufacturing jobs. That is why a lot of those jobs were shipped overseas, because a lot of people didn't want to do them. That's like the superficial version. So a lot of people are saying, no, it wasn't that people didn't want the jobs. It was, because corporate greed. But my thing is, I don't think I have to reiterate every single thing all over again. I think part of me, I guess I'm still getting used to the fact that I have like over 1 million subscribers. So some of y'all are new to my channel, but my OGs and my tea sippers who know me, I don't feel like I have to go to the very beginning and break stuff down. I think I can just hit on something like a quick little blip and then keep it moving. I think you should have enough common sense to know that I know that corporate greed played a part in jobs moving overseas. Let's not forget, I have a series on my channel called Count Your Days. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, but I wrote the lyrics to Count Your Days. Count Your Days is about corporate greed and how these corporations are taking over. We're not getting, our worth. So to act like I don't understand corporate greed or globalization is insane. I'm like, are you new here? You're not schooling me on stuff that I haven't spoken about. But the video wasn't about corporations and globalization. It was just simply a blip to address some things when it came to manufacturing. Also, somebody said, man, you don't even know black from white. I don't know what you're talking about, G-Man. But also, I also want to say this. As far as like the whole manufacturing thing coming here, one, on top of the corporations and the NAFTA deal and all that stuff happening, you got to understand it was also a lot of things that were happening here to kind of discourage people from that type of work. When we were growing up, you had wood shop, you had mechanics class, you had all types of trades. By the time my kids got into school, they didn't even have home ec. All of those trades were taken out. The trades were demonized for a long time. Everything was about climbing the corporate ladder, working in corporate America, not doing dirty work. All of that stuff was demonized. Everything was about, trying to get a bag and a Lambo and, becoming rich, the Wolf of Wall Street. Because factory work is hard. It's a lot of work. And so they shipped all of those jobs overseas to developing countries at the time, like China, India, stuff like that. Another reason why they could just ship stuff overseas, because there's really no regulations, okay? The pollution over there, the cancer rates and everything else. You have whole places in Ghana, West Africa, where they have literally just dumped all of like the first world, I guess you could call, all of their textile onto their shores. Just dumped it there. The people are supposed to pick through it and try and resell it, but it's just turned into mounds of we talked about this a few streams ago. It's turned into just mounds of trash. And so the thing is, they're talking about bringing all of this stuff back here to America. Please understand that when they start building these factories, they will be built in poor places, hoods, trailer trash, trailer park areas, because the emissions, the cancers, the pollution, like nobody's even looking at it from that point of view. Everybody's just looking at it like, oh, the jobs are going to come back. And, we do need jobs to come back. But also think about where they're going to place those jobs. Right now, Memphis, I think he's a senator there, the young black guy. He's fighting right now because Elon done put up a whole factory. Didn't get no type of permission. And now the air quality in Memphis is getting really bad. We watched that video yesterday during our Zoom meeting. Because see, there's a lot of stuff I talk about on Zoom that I never talk about on YouTube. So nobody's thinking about that as to why a lot of those jobs were able to go over there. Why China has all the smog that they have. And then on top of that, let's not forget, once a lot of these manufacturing jobs, if and when they come back, they will be using AI. That's why they're pushing AI. That's why they've been pushing robotics. So I think a lot of people have it misconstrued that, this is the manufacturing of the early 20th century. No. You need to come into this century. Everybody has this nostalgic idea, and that's not what it is. So I just wanted to just address some of that stuff because it seemed like, I guess some of the people were new or just, happened to run across my video because they were writing whole dissertations. Bitch, you ain't got to school me on shit. Let's start there. I'm very well read. Don't take a quick 2-3 minute blurb of me saying something as if I don't know and understand the whole picture. That is all. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. We are in some interesting times. I'm staying on top of the news. I'm staying on top of like all the stuff that's going on. Like I said, as I get information, I'm gonna definitely give it to y'all as well. But it's a lot going on right now. So let's go ahead and start with this. Which I want to start with first. We're gonna start with everything going on with the trade wars, with the tariffs and stuff like that. We want to start with 600 Breezy. Somebody said, that's all, folks. Yeah, because I just feel like just certain things I shouldn't have to reiterate because, like, my supporters know. Like, if you've been here for any length of time, you know that I understand a lot of stuff. I may not be able to fit it all into one video, but you've watched enough to understand what I understand. So it was like, but it was a lot of just MAGA people that were just in their feelings. And my thing is, I guess for me, y'all can be mad and be upset. I don't care. Like, I get it from both ends. You know what I'm saying? I get it from I was getting drugged by the Kamala people earlier in the year. Now, I guess it's MAGA. They feel away. I don't care. Y'all can keep feeling away. I'm still going to speak my truth. I'm still going to hold whoever I need to hold accountable per what I see. So the same way I was holding Joe Biden and Kamala accountable for the things that they did that I wasn't feeling is the same way I'm going to hold your commander-in-chief accountable if he's doing some stuff that I'm not feeling. So if that bothers you, go watch somebody else. Go watch Fox News. You ain't got to sit here and watch my black ass. Okay? Capiche? All right, so y'all said tariffs. All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the tariffs. It's a lot going on with that situation. So this whole chicken thing that he's doing, 1 minute everybody gets the tariffs. Now there's a 90-day pause for everybody but China. We're going to charge China more. China comes back with their retaliatory tariffs. And meanwhile, Putin, he's loving it. Nobody gave him no type of tariff. They said he came out today. I think it was today. Somebody found a video. I was watching it earlier. Yeah, basically saying that it's a little too late. But we're going to get to that video later. Now, let's watch some news clips to bring us up to date. And then I also want to show y'all how this petty tariff war is affecting both sides. I want to show y'all the Chinese people out here crying because a lot of their factories are being shut down. They're losing their jobs. The Americans, the small business owners, they're being affected greatly. Anybody who's getting stuff shipped right now from China, the price has literally doubled overnight. So it is affecting a lot of people. But I also feel like, we're going to get to the Chinese people in a second. Let's go ahead. Let me find the video. I have a lot of clips up here. Because I want to play some TikToks too. All right, we're going to come back to her. All right, let's watch Carolyn Levitt out.
Day of uncertainty on the...
Okay, this one. Okay, this is about an hour ago. Let me pull this up real quick. Count your days. Okay.
And another day of uncertainty on the financial markets as Wall Street reacts to President Trump's tariffs.
The administration says dozens of countries are eager to strike a deal with the president and vows China will be among them. But so far, China hasn't budged. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy is live at the White House with more. Ben.
Eden, Calvin, China hit back with a big tax against U.S. imports, and the White House is responding tonight. In fact, they say this is not good for Beijing as both sides dig in. President Donald Trump went to Walter Reed Hospital today for the first physical of his second term while back at the White House.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Press Secretary Caroline Levitt faced questions on China escalating the trade war by bumping up their tariffs on the U.S. to 125%. after America increased its levy on Chinese imports to 145%.
We cannot be dependent on countries like China if we want this country to be strong and wealthy.
China's finance minister says even if the U.S. continues to impose even higher tariffs, it would go down as a joke in the history of world economics, as they appear to downplay the significance of the escalating tax, which could cause prices of top imports from the PRC to go up, including cell phones, computers, and car parts. While on Wall Street, stocks were down again Friday, with the markets responding to the triple-digit tariffs now facing both countries, with Trump saying he would meet with President Xi to talk trade.
The president has made it very clear he's open to a deal with China.
This week, the commander-in-chief ordered to pause for 90 days all new tariffs on America's trading partners except China, while keeping a 10% baseline tariff in place, as Trump's team says more than 75 countries have already reached out to negotiate.
The phones are ringing off of the hooks. They've made it very clear they need the United States of America. They need our markets. They need our consumer base.
And again, these countries now have less than 3 months to try and reach a new trade deal. And if that does not happen, Trump said those bigger tariffs could go back into place. Eden, Calvin?
Okay, Ben, thank you. And let's take a look at the closing numbers on Wall Street on this Friday. The Dow.
All right, next. She just irks me. All right, so let me go ahead. There's a few TikToks I want to play here. Okay. I wanted to play some other. There was this other video. Okay.
China is fully prepared to fight to the very end because the world is big enough that the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction of completely shutting itself out from the China market, be my guest.
Yeah, and China will lose the US market, which, as I've said, is 15%.
We don't care. We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived. And if the United States wants to bully China, we will deal with the situation without the United States. And we expect to survive for another 5,000 years.
When you hear Donald Trump say China wants a deal, it just doesn't know how to go about it. They're proud people. J.D. Vance talks about Chinese peasants. What do you make of their conduct in this respect?
If J.D. Vance thinks that he's dealing with the peasants in China, and I'm proud to be a descendant of the peasants, most of us are descendants of the peasants anyway, that's our tradition. We are farmers before, but now we are one of the leading industrialized economies in the world. So I'm sorry, J.D. Vance doesn't know what he's talking about. And therefore, I don't think there will be China-US dialogue unless the United States changes its attitude towards China. Deal with China as it is, show respect to China, show respect to the Chinese people, and don't try to impose your prejudice and biased view about China or about the rest of the world. China is fully prepared to...
Let me come back on the screen real quick, child. So y'all heard that Chinese man. I don't know his name, but he's keeping it real. He said, no, these are not the days of yesteryear. We've made a mark on the world, and we don't need y'all's business. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that this bullying that they're trying to do, I think it's like gonna backfire, because what it's given me is the mentor is now upset at the mentee. The mentee has now surpassed the mentor, if y'all understand what I'm saying. Because, see, China, we basically helped build them up as a country by shipping everything over there, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a win-win for us. Cheap Chinese labor, pay them, $2 in a bag of rice. They give us our Nikes, our electronics, and then we double, triple charge what they've made for it. And they were able to still come up, they were still able to come up, rebuild their country, their technology out there, their cities like, Beijing and stuff like that. They surpassed a lot of the technology in the cities that we have here in America. Now I'm not talking about the rural countryside, but like Beijing, whatever, Shanghai, all that stuff. But so they're willing to fight. And China has a lot of people around the world that really rock with them. Why? Because they've made a lot of agreements, and, they've done a lot to build up certain countries, and not just in Africa, the Caribbeans, in South America. They have their hand in the pot all over. So that's why he can proudly say, we don't care. Y'all can take y'all's business elsewhere, because they have deals with so many other countries. So it's getting real. It's really getting real out here. We're going to watch a few more clips here. Let me see. There was a few other ones I had. That was April 10th. Okay, I think this was one of them. It's a lot. It's a lot of news. We're gonna, go ahead and look at everything here.
I just got off the phone with a White House official, and they need to clarify that the new effective tariff rate against China, effective today, is actually 145%, not 125% as they told us yesterday. This is not a new shift. This is based, I want to make clear, on a close reading of the executive order. I have it here. When they amended their executive order yesterday, they changed the rate, the reciprocal rate, so-called, from 84% to 125%. But that comes on top of the fentanyl rate that was already in place this term of 20% against China. So a White House official confirmed to me it is correct to add those numbers together, making the new rate that President Trump has added in tariffs against China so far this term to 145%. A big jump there from where we thought we were even yesterday and the start of the week as well. These numbers just keep increasing. And as you guys know, you do have to add that 145% to any tariffs that were already in place before President Trump took office this term. That's the Section 301 tariffs from his first term, as well as anything else that was already in place at baseline. But now the new rate, when you add all these figures together, for this term that they've added against China is 145% on Chinese imports. I just got off the phone with the White House.
So now let me go ahead and pull up, was this lady here? Hold on. All right, here.
We're here at the California warehouse of Amazon seller Dusty Kenny. She's been feeling the impact of tariffs in a big way. She sells some $800,000 of these items, like baby utensils and bento boxes, on Amazon every year. She has them manufactured in China, and they arrive in pallets by the thousands.
I would love to be able to manufacture in the U.S., but the truth is that the infrastructure is not there. The manufacturing infrastructure doesn't exist, and what few places make this kind of product, they can't compete on price. If these tariffs went on for years, that could absolutely put us out of business.
Kenny says it's a cost she's going to eat, because if she added it to her prices, China-based businesses would undersell her by too much. That's because they can take advantage of what's known as the de minimis provision, a loophole allowing goods under $800 to come in from China. Think all those cheap goods on Temu and Shein with no tariffs or duties or taxes. Trump recently put de minimis on hold, then reversed it when the post office got backlogged with packages from China. To hear more about how Amazon sellers are impacted by President Trump's new tariffs, check out the full story at the link in bio.
Okay, so that's just one woman's story here. There's a lot of stories like that, So again, you have a lot of small businesses who get a lot of their products from China. And so now they're realizing, like, if I'm going to stay in business, there's no way that I can pay for all of this, to ship it in. And then on top of that, you're going to have to, give whatever, like, price increase, you're going to have to give that over to the customer. So a lot of people are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let me see. It looks like, okay, Money Bag Mo must be in the building, because I see a bunch of money bags here. Let me see. Moneybag Mo's in the building. She sent $449.99. Thank you so much, sis, for the love and support. I truly appreciate it. It means the most to me. So thank you. I hope you're hanging in there. I know it's a lot going on, child. Hopefully this too shall pass. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Let me read a few of these other super chats as well. Ainsley Harvey sent $20, says happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. Thank you, sis. Khadijah says, looking gorgeous tonight, T. Happy Friday. Thank you so much, sis. Let's see here. Love Some Lotta says, girl, the mermaid siren deep dive was everything. My husband is West African, and he told me about Mami Wata years ago. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you enjoyed the deep dive. That means a lot to me because I put a lot into it. So thank you so much for the feedback. Let's see here. Moonlight says, not the bank, quiet quitting. Love you. That's exactly how I felt. Like, not them quietly just shutting down and not saying anything. Child, you can't make this up. I said 2025 is just, it's not holding no prisoners. But thank you for the $1.99. Appreciate you. I am Mike Nyson, $49.99. He says, I appreciate the deep dive. Much appreciated. Always love. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you as well. Thank you for the support. Let's see here. Quiet Naya says, happy Friday. I will definitely catch the playback. Love you. Thank you so much, sis. Kitty Jackson sent $199.99. Thank you so much, sis. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the love and support always. And I hope you got a chance to enjoy the deep dive as well. Because I know some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. I can't. If you get nervous watching it at night, watch it during the day. Like, there's some little creepy parts, but you know, I go deep. So, but I hope you enjoy it, sis. I really do. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. I know sent $10, says your deep dive is everything. My dad is from the coast of East Africa, and I was asking him about mermaids yesterday. Let's just say my mind was blown twice. Wow. Now, I have heard some people in East Africa say that they've had mermaid experiences, but I know for me, the majority of the ones I've heard, like my childhood and growing up, was West African and Caribbean. So that's very interesting that your dad has his own experiences in East Africa. So thank you so much for the super chat, love. Let's see here. Alexa sent $5. Oh, hold on, just disappeared. She says, hey, T, you're speaking nothing but facts. My grandmother passed in her 40s and worked in a factory most of her life. You brought up a good point. Yes, and you know, that was one of the things too, when you think about a lot of people's grandparents who worked in factories, a lot of them worked those jobs so that way their kids wouldn't have to. A lot of them told their kids, you know, don't work in factories. You need to get your education, you know, things like that. And that is when they kind of went to like really promote college. So when I say that a lot of people didn't want to work factory work, granted, the people who were already working there and were used to it and that was their livelihood, of course they still wanted their jobs. They didn't want their jobs going overseas. But the next generation under them were told to go get your education, go to college so you don't have to work in a factory, so you can work in an office and things like that. But again, that was just another hustle, sadly, to get people into college debt, student loan debt. You know, maybe back in the day, yes, you'd get your degree, you'd be able to find a job. There was job placement. There hasn't been job placement in years. People are literally going to college, they're getting these degrees, and they're not even being able to find work. So, I don't know. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot. Let me see here. Oh, hold on. Okay, good. My screen was like frozen for a second there. Looks like it's moving now. Okay, but thank you for the super chat, love. Lady T sent $2. She said, Mayor Young, it keeps flirting here. Because Lady T, you're from Memphis, right? Oh my gosh. Emily was sending me videos this past weekend of the flooding. People was like in the water swimming. Come on, y'all. I'm going to need people to not be swimming in that nasty water. A lot of that is sewer water. There's all types of chemicals in the water. It can make you sick. Do not let y'all's kids swim in that water. But yeah, the flooding plus all of the chemicals, the plants that Elon's trying to build out there in Memphis, in a predominantly black area, that is scary. Because right now the regulations are being removed. You know, so thank goodness y'all. I think it's y'all. I don't know if he's a senator. I'm not sure. It's a young black man with the afro. He might be the mayor. I'm not really sure. But his video went viral the other day. And I just really respected him for speaking on that. Because everybody's looking at like the glory days of manufacturing. And it's like, bro, this is not the 1950s. Let me see here. Kit Finn said $5. Says the deep dive reminds me that reminds me of that black Wiccan mom made sure all her black kids could swim because if we loved the water, the mermaids would be pleased. I don't know anything about the black Wiccan mom. I'm gonna have to look into that. But thank you so much for the super chat, love. XJan XX.5. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. They sent $55. They said off topic, but Miss T, the days when Auntie would bless us with a classic catchphrase such as this tea is wet, piping hot, and the iconic slow sip followed by damn, this tea is good. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yes, that was my nostalgia days. I appreciate that. I'm glad people still look back on those days fondly. I stopped doing it because, everybody just started having a teacup. Everybody kept screaming piping hot tea. So I was like, next, let me find some other catchphrases, child. It just kind of got oversaturated. Let's see here. Rosemarin Sim 499 says, my indoor garden is starting to sprout. Yay. My salad greens will be here in no time. I can't wait for the bunnies to try them. Thanks, T, for your inspo. That is awesome. My indoor garden is also growing. I got to show y'all an update. I've been giving y'all a break these past few days. But yeah, I have a lot of the corn is sprouting, the zucchini, my cucumbers. So things are starting to sprout. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to get involved with this garden program in the next 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. And I'm glad that a lot of people are starting their gardens because I'm telling y'all, the way the food prices are going up, now is the time to start. Now is the time to start. Somebody said, I'm going to leave Will. I'm going to leave Will. I'm going to leave Will. Vanessa Jones, y'all are a mess in the chat. Let's see here. Melanin Queen, what's up, sis? She sent $9.99. She says, Hitler put tariffs on his own people, sending Germany into a recession so that he could control them. He then took over Europe in the pursuit of world dominance. Sounds familiar with this administration. Ooh-wee. Yeah, there's a lot of things that sound very familiar with what's going on. So thank you, sis. Miss Arellano, I hope I pronounced that properly. She sent $20. She says, here in Austin, the kids are going to middle school and is taking robots and graphs that Elon has offered here at the school as a trade. The kids work for him right out of high school. It's insane. Oh, wow. I know they have a lot of Tesla. They moved Tesla down to Austin. So guess it makes sense. But thank you for the super chat, sis. Yolanda Drinker. Hey, sis. She sent $50. Says, wow, he said it. China has been here for 5,000 years. I agree with you. They are willing to fight. Exactly. Malay Ninjambong sent $19.99. Says, let's be real, when it comes to trade, the U.S. has no motion. The only time our country is a real threat is when it comes to war. These countries low-key can survive without us. Yeah, they can, and especially being that they have the backing and the money, from China. Once China started getting their money, they started making a lot of alliances around the world. So it's gonna be very stressful watching this play out, but it's gonna have a trickle-down effect, and it's gonna affect everyone. I don't care who you are. Everybody's going to be affected by this. From the stocks to the food prices to the price of everything. So again, it's sad. Let's see here. Beth B says, meanwhile, as our economy is in shambles, the BRIC nations are plotting to overthrow the dollar as they continue to add nations. Yeah. And the problem is we've also pissed off a lot of our allies. So it's going to be interesting to see if our allies end up moving over there towards BRICS as well. So, because right now we're not showing any loyalty to anybody. So why should they be loyal to us in return? So now I want to go on and also show how this is affecting some of the Chinese. I got a few videos I want to play here. And again, it's not necessarily a pity party for the Chinese. I'm just showing both sides, and then I'll kind of talk further.
Thousands, and everything has been cut, ground, washed, and engraved. It's not finished yet, but today the customer messaged me and said the delivery might be delayed. After customs clearance, the taxes have gone up too much. A TikToker who works as a bulk trade supplier shared in his video the huge pressure he's under after the sudden increase in U.S. tariffs.
订单量5000多万美金，今年我们订单已经排到了26年的5月份。
Our orders are worth over 50 million US dollars. This year, we're already booked through May 2026. But with this 30% tariff hike, the impact on us is huge. If you're a small startup, it's not such a big deal because you don't ship enough to fill an entire container. But for us, it hits hard. Our profit margins in bulk trading are already razor thin. Now with a 34% tariff, it's like getting knocked to the ground.
He said the only thing he can do for now is wait. His backup plan is to ship through third-party warehouses in other countries. That's the only way forward. On April 7th, the owner of a clothing factory posted a video saying the entire foreign trade apparel industry in China is filled with anxiety.
现在做外贸单的 Everyone doing foreign trade now is nervous. A 50% tariff is just scary. Who's going to place orders under these conditions? Sure, some clothing businesses are still busy, but it's hard to make money anymore. US orders only make up part of our business, but there are so many clothing factories in China. If we all turn to Europe and there's no US orders, then think about it. Won't competition at home become even worse? Domestic sales are also weak this year. People just don't have money to spend, so how can this market possibly improve?
On April 2nd, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a new round of global-based tariffs, raising rates on dozens of countries. At the time of the announcement, the actual tariff rate for China stood at 34%.
在现行适用关税税率基础上，加征34%关税。
In response, the Chinese Communist Party announced on April 4th that it would impose a matching 34% tariff on all goods imported from the U.S. Trump then warned that he may raise tariffs on China by another 50%. The CCP responded by saying it's ready to fight to the end. While the Chinese government is showing a tough stance, many businesses in China are already feeling the pain. On April 7th, a TikToker filmed a clothing factory that had shut down and said the clothing industry is in serious trouble. All the machines in his factory are about to stop. He said this year is going to be incredibly tough. That same day, another TikToker posted a similar scene, workers moving goods around inside a clothing factory. He wrote that as soon as the U.S. swung its tariff hammer, the impact finally hit the apparel industry. His factory originally had orders scheduled through the end of July, but now over 6,000 down jackets have been put on hold, and their ready-to-ship products are piling up in the warehouse. He said both offline and online sales are struggling this year. Even live stream selling isn't working anymore. With sluggish consumer demand and weak domestic sales, the foreign trade slowdown is pushing more exporters into the domestic market, creating even more excess production. He said this year's apparel industry is like a pressure cooker that could blow at any moment. This isn't just panic, it's worse than during the pandemic. Many clothing business owners may lose everything they've built over a lifetime.
People seeing anybody seeing potential war with China.
Another TikToker showed the current situation at his factory. Because of the tariff hike, orders have been delayed or canceled. Now his packaging and printing factory doesn't even have boxes to make. All he can do now is clean the factory. A TikToker shared a video saying that after the U.S. increased tariffs, the impact on China's foreign trade is obvious. He mentioned that when he flies, there are hardly any Westerners on the plane, mostly people from Africa. Also, when entering the U.S., Chinese people face especially strict security checks.
Okay, so let me come back on the screen. So you guys just watched that video. So basically, what I want you guys to realize is that it's affecting both sides. It's not just us here in America, the Amazon sellers or like, the small, t-shirt companies or the small boutiques here who get all their stuff from overseas, who get their boutique items from China. But it's also affecting the people in China because now the orders are not coming through. The shipping is so high that a lot of people are just saying, well, just cancel my order because I can't afford to bulk ship everything. So I guess for me, how I'm looking at this is you have the CCP over here, you have the Trump administration over here, and it's like a clash of the egos. It's the egos battling, oh, China's been here for 5,000 years, Trump has his ego and all that stuff, but who are the people suffering? It's the little guys. It's the people down here. It's the everyday man and woman who just want to work and make a living, And the thing is with China, they also need to understand that what they're going through is, it's unfortunate, it's sad, but their factories shutting down and their factories closing down is also the same thing that happened here in America. When they shut down the factories here, there was a lot of Americans who needed those jobs, who had bills to pay, and their jobs were taken just like that and shipped overseas to your country. So, it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. And I'm not saying either side is right or wrong. I'm just pointing out the facts. The facts is this happened to America back in the, 70s and 80s. And now it's happening over there to China. So it's the same thing. Those people who lost their jobs at the factories, making whatever products back in the day. I mean, you have whole towns, honestly. Go to Gary, Indiana. I remember going to Gary, Indiana. Oh my gosh. Like back when I was in high school and I was like, what the fuck? Like I felt like I was in like some type of dystopian, and this was when I was in high school. I ain't been to Gary, Indiana since. I'm like, what happened to this city? It just looked horrible. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it looks better now. I don't know. But that was like a steel mill town. Everybody worked at the steel mill factories. You can still see a lot of these old, like if you go to some of these towns, you'll still see a lot of these old factories. They just look old, decrepit. Philly has a bunch too. Just a bunch of old factories. They look haunted, but and they're just left there, because once they shut down, they just shut down. So you have whole towns in America that are still reeling from, and I'm not necessarily blaming the Chinese solely for that, because again, it does tie back to corporate greed and, people wanting to exploit a poor country and their lax regulations to get rich. Oh, somebody said Gary is still bad? Damn, even in 2025? Camilla said it still looks like that in Gary. I went there when I was about 17 and I was shooketh. I told myself I would never come back to Gary. I might visit Indianapolis, but Gary, absolutely not. That was a young T talking when she was 17. Literally every other house, the house that we stayed at was the only house on the block that was not bombed out. Every other house was bombed out. I don't know if it was Molotov cocktails, but every home on the block was bombed out. I'd never seen nothing like that. So for Gary to still look like that, child, that's crazy. And again, it happened because they got rid of, the factories out there, the jobs that people were working. So let me go ahead and pull up this other video of this Chinese man. He's saying some real stuff, and I'm gonna play this video that was on TikTok, that's going around TikTok of Putin. Count your days. Let me see. All right.
How much a Chinese factory make for a pair of Nike shoes? $10. Which sells 150 on the shelf. A Stanley Cup, $50. The factory gets $1. $1. But when they sell millions of them, that's millions of dollars. And all surplus. That's where the surplus comes from. But for every $1 the factory made, somebody in America is making $49. Who is benefit from the globalization? And think about the pollution the factory has to cause in the local area. Who is benefit from the globalization? I don't know.
He was saying some real stuff.
I don't know how much.
I mean, think about it, like, who is benefiting? It's the rich. It's the corporations. It's not the average Chinese worker. They're getting paid. Well, they're not even getting paid. The factory is getting paid $10 per Nike shoe. Then the Nike shoe comes here and it's sold to us for $150, 3 times the worth. Think about how all of these high-end brands, remember, they were getting called out not too long ago. I believe it was Dior, Louis Vuitton. Remember, they're supposed to be making stuff in Italy. That's why people pay higher prices for these high-end bags. And then it was some type of undercover investigation, only to find out that a lot of these bags are being made in China. So the same replica bags that people are buying, the authentic bags are being made in the same factory. And then what they even found out is that even when they say, oh, this bag is made in Italy, what they're doing is bringing in Chinese labor and having them work in factories in Italy because they can exploit them and pay them a lot less. So who is benefiting? It's the greed. It's the greed around the world. These companies have made so much money, billions of dollars. You can't take none of it to the grave. These CEOs are worth so much money, and that money never trickles down to the people who have helped build them up. That is insane. There's no reason why these people are working in sweatshops and the Louis Vuitton bag is being sold for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And that person's making, if they're lucky, $5 an hour. It's an exploitative system. And it's all the people on top that are playing everybody down below like puppets. So the people on the bottom, we sit and we fight, we argue, we cuss each other out in the comment sections. Y'all drag me, whatever. But at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat. It's the people up here, you know what I'm saying, who are living high off the hog. It's about exploitation. And a lot of these people, they don't want to leave their seat. They don't want to be able to not benefit from that system that they created. So it's sad. So what I'm trying to show y'all, yeah, it's definitely a trade-off, Kiana. It is. You know, I'm trying to show y'all both sides. I'm trying to humanize both sides. It's very easy to be dismissive and just say, have faith, oh, no pain, no gain, because it's not affecting you. And that's where we lost that empathy chip that I always talk about. As long as something's not affecting you and your family, you don't care, but you should care. You should care. Because what happens in one part of the world ends up affecting us. What happens to this person can end up affecting you. See, a lot of people were cool when it was just, you know, the immigrants and the Mexicans. But then when the federal workers were getting laid off, when Elon came out there with the chainsaw and was just slicing jobs, then you had all these same folks who were Team MAGA crying about their job being gone. You can't care once it happens to you. Somebody said a nail shop is not comparable to a multi-billion-dollar empire. It definitely is not. Who's even comparing because they own nail shops? Who cares? I mean, they're not, I don't know anybody who's like a billionaire off of just owning a nail shop. Hell, a lot of these nail shops are going under because they keep raising their prices. I stopped. I'm back to, I cut my nails off. You know, my real nails are usually long. I cut them all off. I'm starting over. I'm doing my own nails. I ain't got time. They just keep raising the prices. Nope. I'm going to do my own. I have all the nail stuff. I just, you know, was being lazy. But now I'm just going to, because it's just getting ridiculous. Then be having attitudes when you want them to do designs and you want them. I feel like if I'm going to pay $100 for some nails, you're going to have to do $100 worth of work. I want designs. I want pizzazz. I want to be some shit that I can't create. if I'm paying $100. You're not just about to put gel polish on my nails and be like, $100, no, ma'am. $100, nope. If I'm going to just paint my nails with gel polish, I'm going to do it. So a lot of these nail shops, I've noticed there's been a few that done shut down too. So yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of them wanting to overcharge and then they want to do the bare minimum. Okay, well, I'm gonna be bare minimum Betty and do it myself at my home. So I cut my nails off and I'm starting over. They'll be back in about 6 months. You know, I'll be drinking my little skin, hair, and nail tea, so they'll be back. But yeah, I cut them off, starting over. So let me go ahead and play this other video that's going viral here.
Ну, знаете, я вам хочу что сказать. Соединенные Штаты опоздали лет на 15. Они не смогут остановить развитие Китая. Это невозможно сделать, так же, как вот невозможно сказать Солнцу, не вставай. Оно все равно поднимется. Но есть объективные процессы экономического развития. Они связаны с миллионом факторов. И вот эта попытка сдержать развитие Китая, она негативно отражается и на экономике самих Соединенных Штатов. Они делают производство ряда своих товаров низкоконкурентоспособными. А если дальше пойдут по этому пути, сделают вообще неконкурентоспособными в отдельной отрасли экономики. Так сложилась кооперация на протяжении предыдущих десятилетий между экономикой Китая и Соединенными Штатами. Она взаимосвязана. Все это понимают. Но вот те действия, которые мы наблюдаем сегодня со стороны Штатов, мне кажется, что они имеют контрпродуктивный характер.
So I'm sure y'all were able to read what he was saying because I don't understand Russian, but I read it. You know, again, he's basically saying like, this is counterproductive. Y'all are too intertwined with China. And, you know, telling them to pay all these, you know, tariffs and all this stuff is like telling the sun not to rise. You're not going to stop China's dominance in the global market. That's coming from his homeboy. So I found that very interesting what he's saying. And I also find it super interesting that he's one of the few that was not tariffed at all. I think it was only him in South Korea that weren't, you know, they didn't receive any tariffs. So, I mean, to me, it sounds like he's just kind of laughing at this point. He's just sitting there sipping tea. We know China's his friend. Because like I said, when the whole war in Ukraine happened, the way he was able to just invade Ukraine, you know, China's just waiting for their, you know, they're waiting for their chance to go in and get Taiwan. So, yeah, I just thought it was just, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy all this stuff that's happening right now globally. Oh, and then this video has been going viral too on Chinese media about the U.S. Like if they were to bring the factories here. I don't want to play the music, but I want y'all to watch this video. I'm sure y'all have seen these. So they're saying if the factories came to America, this is how they'll look like. You see, like they're overweight. They got the Coca-Cola. This is all AI. They're showing the Tesla workers, the Apple workers. China got jokes. Make America rich again. So yeah, they're going in. They are going in on social media. So yeah, they're saying it, you know, make America great again. We are very intertwined, and that's the thing that's, you know, that's really frightening. Like, we get so much stuff made in China. You know, as much as they need our business, we get a lot of stuff made over there. And, you know, people just tend to think about clothing. Do you understand our medications? A lot of our medicine is made in China. You know, a lot of food that we get come from over there. And, you know, other countries overseas as well. People are, we can just make all the food here in America. That's just not how it works anymore. Like, you know, back in the day, a lot of people did canning, right? Because you only had food during certain seasons. So like, the summer seasons, you would have the berries and, certain vegetables. So a lot of people would can stuff. So that way you would have, fresh jam in the middle of winter, because strawberries don't grow in the middle of winter. But the problem is we've gotten so comfortable, all of us, myself included, we don't understand how food works. We're used to eating an avocado in the middle of January. Without globalization, that would never be possible. You would only be able, back in the day, you were only able to eat certain things during that season. Just like, who remembers back in the day when we would get those catalogs for our clothing? There would be a fall and winter catalog from like JCPenney or Sears, and there'd be a spring and summer catalog. And that's when you would go through the catalog, you could pick your clothes and stuff like that. You wouldn't be able to find a swimsuit in the middle of winter back in the day like that. Very rarely. They put all that stuff up. The only thing, you'd have to have bought it in the summertime, and hold on to it. But because of globalization and because we've been so conditioned, we just think that, certain things just naturally grow here. And there's a lot of foods that don't grow here in America. Y'all remember that? Mm-hmm. And I think that's the issue right now, is that people don't understand like how, we're very intertwined with not just China, but with a lot of other countries. So again, I just, I look forward to seeing all these, factories coming back, and, let's see if they're actually hiring people in droves and everything else, or if it's going to be more AI. I have no idea. It's going to be interesting to see how long it's going to take them. They're going to rehab these old factories. Where are these factories going to be placed? Will there be the same regulations? Because there's no regulations in China and India. So they can pollute their waters. They can pollute, their air. Do we want those same pollutants coming here? So I think these are conversations that people are not being honest, and they're not having about all of this stuff that's going on. Somebody said Finger Hut, Kitty the Jackson. I remember those Finger Hut magazines. We get a lot of our clothes, our school clothes, from Finger Hut. I remember that. Now everything is Temu and Shein. All right, so I've been on here. How long have I been on here? Oh, an hour. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get on these other topics here. But I just wanted us to, hit on the whole tariff situation. So let's go ahead and talk about the Jazmine Cheaves. I think that's how you say her last name. She's Jada Cheaves, Jada Wada. This is her, I think, her little sister. And so Jada Wada, she has a baby by Lil Baby. That's the little boy Loyal. That's her son with Lil Baby. So her sister has a son that she had, I think, like a year ago by 600 Breezy. And so she got online to basically blast him the other day, and he clapped back on her. So let me go ahead and pull this up here. Okay. Let me, hold on, go to the first. All right. So basically trying to let us know that they broke up or whatever. Now, I don't know if anybody really cared, but. So she's saying, date in your tax bracket, life be so much easier. Then she says, single, no. With my broke ass BD, no. Somebody says, wait, did we miss a chapter? Are you single again? So that's what she was saying. Then she goes on to show these text messages. He says, bitch, stop playing with me on the internet. Ho, that's broke shit, don't move me. I ain't broke no mo. Then she says, sending him to work was the best thing I did for him. Then somebody says, is that why you date broke men? She says, no, I'm not broke, so this is why I learned my lesson. From now on, I will date in my tax bracket. Then she says, as parents, we do what we think is best for our kids. I can walk away knowing I tried to give my baby a 2-parent household. This is old as F. It wasn't y'all's business to know. Months old, so don't clock no T. Then somebody says, so Breezy is the broke one, huh? I thought he bought you a Chanel last week. She says, y'all know that boy ain't never stepped no foot in Chanel. Y'all assumed it was him. Wrong nigga. Well, actually, must know what's up. Been having motion going. Always have motion. I'ma keep going in Chanel like I've been doing. Then somebody says, there's no T to clock, although... Oh, hold on. Somebody says, exactly. Long as he does what a dad's supposed to do, he can be around Blaze. Once he play with my son, though, it's over. He did that enough already. So the ball is his court. I'm never a bitter BM. Then it says, Nisha, there's no T to clock, although it's great to have a two-parent household. That's not everyone's reality. Don't force anything that's not meant to be. Hopefully he still continues to do his part as a father. It doesn't have to be any bad blood going forward either. Just move on and move accordingly. You're doing a great job, Jazz, with or without any man. Don't worry about others' opinions. So that was her telling all her damn business on social media. So 600 Breezy then responded like 2 days later. So we're going to start with this video here.
Let me fucking leave then.
No.
What's wrong with you?
What the fuck?
I'm telling you, I'm finna go.
I have to
Yes.
sit here and raise this motherfucker.
You don't gotta sit here and raise shit by yourself. You don't. I'm gonna be right up the street.
It's not no two-parent household. That shit is a lie.
That two-parent household shit dead, bro.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Bro, you're not going any fucking where.
Alright. That two-parent household shit dead.
No, it's not.
You treat me like shit. You talk to me like shit.
No,
I'm not shit to you in your eyes. Why the fuck am I staying around you?
We are not.
Jazmine, let me leave.
No.
Let me leave.
No.
What the fuck? So I gotta call the police?
I guess.
Tell them, hey, I'm just trying to leave her house. She won't let me leave. Let me fucking leave then.
No.
What's wrong with you? You might as well get me killed and end this shit right now. It's over. It's over. Jazmine, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. I don't want shit to do with you. None of that shit. It's over. It's over. Now I'm not playing with you. You can't make no nigga stay that don't want to fucking stay. Like what? You done treated me like complete shit. You think I'm supposed to keep staying? No, I don't want no drunk ass bitch. I don't want no disrespectful ass bitch. And I don't want no bitch that don't fucking, like, you don't want me here anyway.
I didn't want you here. If I didn't want
Like,
you here, why the fuck are we sitting here having this?
let me go. Let me go. Let me go. I'm not dealing with that same shit that you keep doing to me. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing. Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Jazmine, I'm finished.
No, you're not.
I don't love you. I hate you. I don't want to be with you. I don't want shit to do with you. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want shit to do with you. I don't want shit to do with you. No, it's up with you. You might as well get me killed. Mistreat me. Talk to me any type of way. Say what you say. Keep putting your hands on me and all that weird ass shit. But you don't want to let me leave. And I'm telling you, I don't want you. I don't want shit to do with you. I'm trying to go out the door. I'm not lying. I don't want you. I don't love you. I don't want nothing to do with you. No, I don't. I hate you. I don't want shit to do with you. Like, what the fuck? Let me go. Like, that shit don't even make sense. Like, what? Mistreat me. Talk to me any type of way. Say what you...
Okay, there's another video, too. There's one more. He's in the car ranting and raving.
On the internet. This ain't even my character on BD. I let bitches play with me so much on the internet. So much. I can't do it this time. No, I can't do it because, bitch, you don't even want to let me see my son unless I come to your house or unless I fuck you. Let's be real here. That's in the text messages, too. You was finna kill yourself when I wouldn't come back. That's in the text messages, too. You sent me. I was gone for 7 days. You and my son was laid up with another nigga. I got that in my phone, too. But as me and y'all think we supposed to just keep sitting back and let bitches attack us and lie on us and do all this and make a scene, bitch, y'all, I didn't even know I was on the shade. Y'all got me fucked up on BD. Like, what? Every time bitch called me, I got 10, 20K on me. You mad? 'Cause I went back to trapping. You didn't want me to trap. Bitch, I'm back in the Midwest getting busy. And then you hate, I just sent you $32.50 for Blaze Party. Right after that, you did this weird internet shit, and we've been broke up for 2 months, Jazmine. Because you needed that Snapchat check. They don't know. Your biggest check is from Snapchat. You needed... This ain't even my character on BD. in your house and watch my. You don't even want Blaze, but you don't want to let me take him to Chicago, Wisconsin, anywhere else. You steady trying to tell me I gotta come to your house and sit in your house and watch my own son. But you will let your gay friends get him. These motherfuckers that don't know, they don't know him. That's my kid. He came from that's a part of me. Bitch. If that was the case, you should have never let me come around and even get to know him. You did that shit for you. This shit was for an image for you. You wanted to look like you had a happy family. I be trying to get my son, and you tell me I can't. You tell me I can't take. My cousin them got mansions bigger than everybody's house but Jada's on BD. And you won't even let me take my son over there. Like, what the fuck? I've been gone for 2 months. Out there 2 months, you had Blaze all of 2 weeks. But you won't let his dad get him. Talking about shootouts and shit. Bitch, you think I'm... Just because you was on my... You weren't supposed... You see me get in one shootout in Chicago a couple weeks ago. On BD. You act like I'm going to be outside doing bullshit in the car with my kid. You don't even want Blaze, but you don't want to let me take him to Chicago, Wisconsin, anywhere else. You...
Let me come back. Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot, okay? You know, first and foremost, she was very messy for even bringing it up on social media, talking about he's broke and all this stuff. But yet and still, you had a baby with his broke ass. The thing is, 600 Breezy has been put out here as a deadbeat for years. He did the same thing to Queen Key. He claims that her triplets are not his. You know, and Jazmine thought it was cute to, you know, throw shade at Queen Key and go in on her and, you know, speak on her situation when it had nothing to do with her. And now she's going through the same thing. Now, I will say this. I don't agree with her putting hands, if that's what he's saying happened. She had no business putting hands on him because, again, if the roles were reversed, he'd be in jail. So, you know, domestic violence goes both ways as far as, like, you know, her putting, and she wasn't denying it when he was saying, you know, you sit here and act like you want me here when you don't, you disrespect me, you put hands on me. She didn't say that she didn't do it. So I believe in what he's saying right there. Now, as far as the child, he has every right to want to take the child and, you know, have access to the child. It's his child. You can't have a baby with somebody and then get upset when they want to be in that child's life. But in the same breath, you can't sit here and be like, I was in a shootout a week ago in Chicago. I'm not going to be in a shootout this week. Okay, well, hold on, sir. Like, that's not normal. And just because you were in a shootout a week ago in Chicago does not mean that the people that you were in a shootout with may not catch you slipping in traffic. And then the baby's in the back seat? Absolutely not. So I get her on that part. Like, no, I don't want you taking my child to Chicago if you're out there getting into shootouts. If you want to spend time with the baby, it needs to be somewhere safe. And Chicago's not it if you were just in a shootout a week ago. But see, he's so upset about the situation, he's telling on himself. You're also letting the police know, because I know the police are sitting up there with pens, got a notepad in hand, while he's talking about trapping and all the money he's made trapping recently. Like, why are you telling all your trapping business to the internet? Again, just a mess. Just a straight up mess. This is why I tell y'all, do not envy any of these relationships with these celebrities, with these influencers, because she swore up and down that was her man, her man, her man, her man. And now she got the same man all these other chicks had. But to me, she's also very immature. I believe a lot of what he's saying because this is the same girl who was screaming at her baby who was only 5 months old, talking about he needs to stop screaming like a girl. Like almost insinuating that the baby was gay because the baby's crying. So I believe a lot of what he's saying. Because I remember seeing this video a while back and it pissed me off. This video.
Blaze, I told you you're not a girl. Stop screaming. Yes, Blaze. This is what he does all day. He just yells. Between him like being so tuned into TV and screaming, I just be like, he sound like a big boy. No, I don't like when he do that screaming shit. Like he's not a girl.
There's a lot of things wrong with that. First of all, what I'm not understanding, she says he be so tuned into the TV. Why is a 5-month-old child that tuned into the television? Why is he not tuned into you? Why are you not reading to him, playing with him, paying him attention? Like, why is he at 5 months old so tuned into the TV? That makes no sense. And then him screaming and making noises that normal babies make, happy babies, or, you know, babies scream. I didn't know that screaming had a gender. He can't talk. So I'm like, well, what is he supposed to do? Just be like, yo, mom, pick me up, bitch. Like he's supposed to come out with a deep voice. Like, what is he supposed to do to get your attention? Child, these are the people that y'all make famous. Because I didn't know who any of these people were until y'all brought them to my attention. You can't make this up. She's literally mad that her 5-month-old baby is screaming like a 5-month-old baby should do. Like the baby's supposed to have a deep-ass baritone voice and be like, what up, mom, BD? Like, what do you want the baby to do? Start throwing up gang signs to get your attention? Girl, bye. I hope CPS is taking notes on both these people. I think they're both a few eggs short of a dozen. And then he had the nerve to write something. Let me read to y'all what he wrote.
To sit around and keep...
Hold on, let me read to y'all what he wrote. He had one last thing to say to her. He says, I'm tired of bitches playing with me. You left me because I was broke, huh? No, bitch. I left you because you need help. You need AA. You need therapy. You need real help from professionals. You physically and mentally abused me the whole time, and I put up with that shit. I've been gone since February 17th. Ain't mentioned you at all. You gave me $6,800 in December for Christmas, like that was gonna make me stay or make a difference in my life. Bitch, you helped me spend that as soon as you gave it to me. You mad because I went back to Chicago and got back on my regular life and I'm rich again and don't want shit to do with you? You begged me to stay, but you get on the net 2 months later and say you left me? You should have shut the fuck up, Jazmine, and kept it P. You waited till I sent money for Blaze's birthday to be weird. If you ain't want me to come to the party, you should have said that, bro. You finna off yourself cause I wouldn't come home. You playing with the wrong nigga. Okay, honey. Breathe. Relax. You can't make this up, child. They both need to stay off the internet at this point. He needs to go his way. She needs to go her way and do their best job parenting. But I don't feel bad for her because I remember her gloating, you know, at another woman's pain, at what he went, you know, with Queen Key in their situation. So I feel no ways. They both need to have several seats. And that baby don't need to be in Chicago if you're getting into shootouts. I agree with that. It's too much. It's too much. All right, so that was the whole situation with 600 Breezy and Jazmine. Let me read a few more super chats here. Then we're going to get on to our last story. Let's see here. Azia Israel sent $19.99. Thank you so much, sis. Appreciate you. Beth B sent $4.99. Says, hey, T, when do you post your videos? Can you add something different if it's from a live stream? Usually when it's from a live stream, we just post a thumbnail. There's no title. So that's how you can tell the difference. If it's a new video versus a snippet from the live stream, it's just a thumbnail with no title on the thumbnail. But anything that's a new video, it's going to have a title on the thumbnail. So that's how you can tell the difference. And the reason why we break up the live stream, because sometimes people can't catch the whole live stream or they just want to see certain topics. So we break them up for the people who just want to see certain topics. Let's see here. Moonlight sent $1.99 says, my birthday is tomorrow. Thank you for going live. Happy early birthday to you. Thank you for the super chat. Azia, she sent $49.99 says, I love the deep dive. The guy who set the altar by his bed was funny. I identify as an Israelite. They say you crazy if you look at anything. If you look up anything about the Marine Kingdom, but I don't give a F. I'm writing a story about it called Gala of Shadows. Your video was great. Thank you so much. I think the problem with the guy who had the whole situation with the altar, he was calling on just any deity, for like money and prosperity and stuff. Sir, it wasn't like his ancestor. It was like he didn't call on anybody specific. So my thing is, when you're playing around with stuff like that, you need to know what you're doing. And if you don't understand it, you never want to open up those doors. I definitely believe everything he was saying, that his whole family was spiritually attacked. But again, what deity did you call on? You got to be careful. And even when you think that they're family members, you got to also understand that, especially like, with demonic energy, they'll play on the fact that they'll come as a familiar spirit. So you'll think, oh, it's your passed away loved one, and it's really not. So you gotta be careful watching stuff like that, because that damn water spirit flooded his whole damn office and shit. I was like, damn, he had water everywhere. But yeah, stuff like that is very, very real. You just have to be very careful, playing around with stuff like that. I would not open up Pandora's box at all. Somebody said, yeah, you never know who's going to answer when you come calling. Yep, that's the truth. Folks be seeing stuff on TikTok and, I'm a baby witch and all this weird shit. Y'all be watching these TikTokers and trying to follow what they do. I wouldn't play around. I would not play around. Absolutely not. Let's see here. Queen Hershey sent $49.99. She says Chicago and parts of Indiana Skyway still empty with hundreds of vacant buildings that used to be factories. I believe it. Because like I said, Gary looked bad back then when I went years ago. So if they haven't fixed anything up, I can only imagine what it looks like now. Lover sent $2, says the Rust Belt was destroyed from outsourcing. Correct. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, now the Rust Belt is just rusty. It's sad. And back then when they had those factories going, all you needed was a one parent household. I mean, like 2-parent household, but 1 parent working is what I meant. You know what I'm saying? You could have a home, a car, and then just the father working at the factory and the mom was home with the kids. I mean, it's very hard to do that nowadays. Both parents have to work, Benevolence sent $9.99, says happy Friday. Thank you for going live. You are looking beautiful. Love you, T. Love you too. And thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Forever Your Leo sent $9.99, says, hey T, the crazy thing is people outside the U.S. already see Americans as cocky idiots, and Trump's actions are only proving those who think that right, while Russia is laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah. And if you haven't been on the international part of TikTok, people are going in. Like, we look crazy right now to the international community. And I'm talking about to foes and friends alike. We look crazy, with all this stuff that's going on. And it's sad. I Am Mike Nice sent $49.99. Thank you so much for the second super chat. He says, close this door. T is dropping gems tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Paladin sent 5, says, China learned to sustain without the world's support. Alienating the U.S. allies only emboldens BRICS for some reason. Some people just don't get it. Yeah. Yeah, people are going to go elsewhere. Especially if you keep playing these games where, you're dangling tariffs in their face. One moment the tariffs are going to be implemented, then the next moment you pull them away, and then now with the talks of insider trading happening, even that video that went viral, let me see if I have that, of them bragging about who just got rich. Let me see if that's on here. I don't see. I thought I had it up, but no, I don't see it on here. He was like talking to like all these. Oh, here it is. Yep, I have it. I don't know if y'all have seen this video yet.
Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad. You see how he's in financials. I've always been fine. This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad. You see how he's in financials.
I don't care what anybody says. That's disturbing. That you're bragging about somebody making billions of dollars. Meanwhile, another person's 401k has literally plummeted. And that's their savings, you know, the things that people are told their whole life, like, you know, put money aside for when you retire, put money aside for a rainy day in case something happens. And people do that. They put into their 401k, they put into their Roth IRA, their SEP, all that stuff. And then it just tanks. Even that boy, what's his name? Aiden Ross. Remember Aiden Ross had Trump on his platform. He was crying to DJ Academics. I saw it on Twitter about losing millions of dollars. Let's see if I can find it. That went viral on Twitter on the other day. Yeah, this is the video here. This was a few days ago he was talking about this. So this was him when he was with Trump dancing and having a good old funky time, child. And then this is him with DJ Academics talking about it.
People are getting killed. Me too.
Yeah, we all are.
You look at your shit?
Bro, holy fuck, it's so bad.
Nah, I mean, how much you lost? Be honest.
8 figures. It's almost.
Damn.
Yeah.
You over here like, fuck it, Kamala, come back to me. You over here singing the song like the Kanye and Beyonce song.
It's bad, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
It'll get better, bro.
I know.
It'll get better.
It's bad, though. It will get better.
People are getting killed. Me too.
All right. So, again, you know, it's affecting a lot of people. You know, his tune is changing now. Even when asked something about now, don't you wish you had Kamala? You know, he was kind of, you know, that little nervous laughter. But yeah, I mean, and again, Aiden Ross, I mean, he's not poor by any means. He'll be fine. I mean, it sucks to lose, what'd he say, 8 figures? That's a lot of damn figures, bitch. Damn. You know, but he'll be fine. He's a multi-millionaire. But what about the average, you know, person who just works a 9 to 5 who makes about $50,000 a year, if lucky? Imagine what their accounts look like. At least he still has other money, other sources of income. He can start an OnlyFans, you know what I'm saying? We probably do have an OnlyFans. Most of these guys do. You know, but what about just the average school teacher, the average nurse, the average, you know, doctor, customer service person? So, yeah, it's crazy. Let's see here. Dr. Nikki sent $10, says this dude has a set of triplets with Queen Key, that he doesn't take care of. Exactly. And see, like I said, Jazmine thought it was cute, you know, when she got with him and got pregnant, you know, and now she's about to go through the same thing. Shamaya says, hey T, I don't know if you noticed how China's infrastructure, very modern and futuristic, while the United States is still stuck in the past. Yeah. And our infrastructure, unfortunately, is crumbling. And, you know, we have a whole now we're having to work backwards. We're having to, like, encourage young men to get into the trades and get into construction and help, you know, rebuild the roads. because for several generations, they demonized the trades. They demonized that type of work. And now that the infrastructure is crumbling, there's a lot of programs now that are paying kids to get into trade programs. So if you're looking for something, looking for work, and that's something you're interested in, definitely do that. Because at this point, yeah, America's looking very, very old and decrepit compared to a lot of the futuristic stuff that's going on in China. And again, that's not all of China. I mean, you have some spots in China that look horrible and, you know, their buildings are constantly collapsing and stuff like that. But they do have certain cities that are very, very futuristic, from their cities to their cars. Let's see here. Quirky Circle sent 5. Reminds me of the new song by Chapter called Baby Mama Drama. I'm glad more men are calling this out. Kids need to know their dads aren't always the bad guy. I definitely agree. And that's why I said I think they both have issues. And if she's putting hands on him and disrespecting him, she's just as wrong. Cohen 2017 says, T, been here since 1985. Thank you for your insight, research, and hard work. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, love. Let's see here. Pretty Real Sagittarius sent $50. Says, T, I love the deep dive. You had me looking the way B was from the Wire meme last night when I was watching it. It was all coming together. I love you. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the deep dive. And yes, hit the like button. We have over 7,000 people in here, 2,000 likes. So let me go ahead and get on this Carrie Hilson situation. Oh, yeah, and then the plane crashes. We got to talk about that, too. Let me see here. Okay, so we're going to just watch. They were on The Breakfast Club. Carrie Hilson went onto The Breakfast Club and basically poured her heart out about what she went through. Let me see if I can find the clip here. Okay. Let me share my screen. Miss Keri, baby. All right. So this was her on The Breakfast Club, basically talking about, there was a diss song that came out years ago that Carrie Hilson, everybody thought she wrote it about Beyonce. Now she's coming out and saying that Ester was the one who wrote it and she was forced to sing it.
It's a regret. It's a regret, but not in the way that people would think, because that's a song that I actually didn't write. Those are not my words. I was on tour. Polo wanted me to do a remix to Turning Me On. Mm-hmm. He had produced the record, and I wasn't, because I was on tour with Lil Wayne, I wasn't able to like lay anything down. He had been on me for a couple of weeks about we need to do a remix.
Anyways, so as you see here, somebody was in the comment section. They said the writer was definitely Ester Dean. Ester Dean came in there and she said, and did, it was a hit. Okay, so once people seen that Ester Dean took, confirmation of it, they started dragging her. So let me see. Let me go back to the beginning. All right, so Carrie Hilson says to Ester Dean, I personally don't think this is our fight to have. I respected you on this matter for 16 years and attempted to do that again yesterday while finally expressing the truth when asked. But since you're coming to the table, let's be clear. You used the word co-wrote. I rewrote 3 lines in your verse, which was the only battle I won in the whole matter. But you weren't there when all of this was going down. We didn't write this together. These lines were mine. Been getting dollars, boy/gone. Get your money up. No, you ain't the homie. On me, line me up, the softest section. Lines about boys, because not only did I strongly disagree with the unnecessary hateful sentiments towards another woman, and I've never been a fan of a publicity stunt method. I also argued in my Trail of Attempts that the verse isn't on subject with the original song, which is how I even got those 3 lines on the remix. They were taken from the idea/lines in my phone that I mentioned in the full interview. You chose to stay quiet for 16 years, but coming out now when you felt a portion of the heat that I've gotten all this time. I really wasn't going to discuss this anymore, but in the interview, we talked about the backlash of not speaking up for myself. So I want to finally clear the air respectfully. For those who only watch the clip, I suggest you watch the full interview, okay? So Esther Dean says, I submitted a lot of verses for the remix. One got picked and was co-written with Keri. Looking back, it was childish. It didn't age well. I see it hurt people, especially women, and I take full accountability. I've worked with and supported many women since, but that doesn't erase this moment. I'm sorry for my part in it. Growth is real, so this is the apology. So now today, she also wrote a long-ass letter, child. Apologizing. She wrote all this. Open letter. That's what they're called. Open letter. I'm going to just go ahead and read it. I think we wrote it up here. Okay. All right. Open letter to Hilson and other creatives. Back in July of 2008, I started working with producer Polo the Don in Atlanta. She began later. I moved to Los Angeles to write for Polo's artists over at Interscope. I wasn't famous. I wasn't chasing clout. I was in the studio day and night writing 3 to 4 songs a day. No friends, no family, just work. She went on to rewrite some of the lyrics of the Turning Me On remix. Your vision is cloudy if you think you're the best / you can dance, she can sing, but she need to move, which I believe was a reference to Beyonce's 2006 hit Irreplaceable. Those lyrics, Dean admitted in her open letter, were tacky, but not forced. No, that was me. I wasn't in the room with Keri writing this together. She continued, I did not personally. I hate how they wrote this. Who the fuck wrote this article? Let me just read her words, because this article is trash. Let me just read her words. That was trash. All right, let's start over. I don't know who the hell wrote that damn article. Open letter from Ester Dean for Keri and the creatives on records. I stayed quiet a long time, but I believe in telling the truth, especially when the internet starts telling their own version of the story. Back in 2008, I started working with Polo the Don in Atlanta. Later, I moved to Los Angeles to write for Polo's artists over at Interscope. I wasn't famous. I wasn't chasing clout. I was in the studio day and night, writing 3 to 4 songs a day. No friends, no family, just work. Whenever the studio was open, I wrote. When Polo called me, I showed up. That's who I was. Turning Me On remix. One night, Polo asked me to write a remix verse for Carrie Hilson, something street, something for the culture. He left the room, and I sat there trying different ideas until I landed on these lines. I shot the sheriff, but wait, let's wait till I shoot these bitches down, down, down. Your vision is cloudy if you think that you're the best. You can dance, she can sing, but she need to move it. Don't do it. She need to go have some babies. She needs to sit down. Fading, tacky, yes. Force, no. That was me. I wasn't in the room with Keri writing this together. I didn't know her personally. She already was a star. I was just a writer trying to earn my place. I did my job and left. Keri came in another time and wrote her own verse, her pen, her voice. Ben had dollars, boy. Go on, get your money up. No, you ain't the only homie that line me up. I ain't turning it off. I'ma stay on it. Go on and tell these folks how long I've been writing your songs. I've been putting you on. Just check the credits, ho. You want me, you can find me in Decatur, ho, because you turning me off. I went on to write on both Keri's albums. If she even showed love and did a cameo, in my Drop It Low video. I even came on stage with her once, but life took us in different directions like it often does. For the record, I didn't work with Beyonce until years later when I signed to Roc Nation as a writer. There was no plot, no beef squad, no secret industry mission, just writers writing, artists being artists, people trying to win. Keri was already massive. She didn't need saving. She was out there making history. Why speak now? Because while our stories may look similar now, back then they weren't. Keri was speaking on big platforms I didn't have access to. It was her story to tell, not mine. I stayed writing. No hate, no shade, just the truth. What Keri went through was sad. She's a great artist, a beautiful spirit, and she deserves grace. She took her lessons, and I'll take mine. Respect always, Ester Dean. Okay. That's a lot to just take on. That's a lot to digest. This is how I feel about the situation. The money's not moneying. Let's that's my favorite line. The money is not moneying. Okay. And I get it. Charlamagne and them asked her about this or whatever else. But then for Ester Dean to run into the comment section and state her comment, the fact that we're talking about, like, this shit happened damn near 15 years ago. And what I don't like is that everybody's trying to rewrite history and play innocent. Okay. I think what happened is, yes, Ester Dean, Polo were being messy. Ester Dean's trying to get her foot out there. She's taking little digs at Beyonce. But I think Carrie Hilson, and I love Carrie Hilson. I love her music. I think she was also a willing participant. She's trying to act like all of a sudden she's just solely a victim. She was forced to sing this song. I think she was a willing participant as well, because there was a lot of things that Carrie Hilson did back then to shade Beyonce. If there was no beef, there was even a time she was on the red carpet and she was like, yeah, happy birthday, Beyonce. It was like just all types of like little shady stuff. Because remember the Beehive, they had a collection of receipts. Every time Beyonce's name would be brought up, Keri would kind of cut her eyes, kind of sigh. So Keri kind of also made it feel like there was some type of beef behind the scenes with Beyonce. She definitely played into it. I'm sorry, I'm not about to, a lot of y'all just got here. I'm not entertaining the bullshit. We were here. Keri also played into it. What happened is, and I think what happened to Keri and Ester, is that they thought they were going to take down, Queen Bee or bring her down a notch. Keri's a pretty girl, and everything. And she thought that maybe she would be able to get some of that shine. But it didn't work out for either one of them the way they planned it. And I'm not saying they planned it to take her down, but, Ester Dean had her reason for doing it. Keri also had her reason for doing it. And because it didn't really plan out, now, there's all this victimhood on both sides. Now it's all this pointing fingers. Now it's, I like seeing women together, this and that. Let me see if I can find some. Okay, y'all remember, put a teacup if y'all remember this, because I know I'm not tripping. Because I'm like, why are we talking about all this old tea from 15 years ago when both of y'all were benefiting from this? Keri, you were definitely playing up the nice, nasty role towards Beyonce. Let's not act like you weren't. It wasn't until the Beehive just kept dragging you couldn't take, and you broke down crying on some red carpet interview wanting them to leave you alone. But they were dragging you because you were also feeding into that. And y'all can say Polo the Don manipulated her and played with her. But at the end of the day, everybody's grown. You know what I'm saying? And if you really stand for women, can't nobody manipulate you. No, what it is you was cool with it as long as you were benefiting. A lot of people have that mentality. As long as I'm hot and I'm benefiting and I have proximity to fame, then it doesn't matter who I step on, who I disrespect. And then once things don't work out, now here's the woe is me's. Now here's the cop and please. And like I said, the money's not money. And so let's go ahead and talk about, let's start bringing up all this OT. Same thing with Terrence Howard. I'm not saying that his story's not valid, but who was checking for Terrence Howard before he got up on that podcast and said all that stuff about Diddy? And if everything was so bothersome and you were not down, with that, let's not forget you also were the father on a show called Empire to a gay star. you worked with Lee Daniels. And were you okay with the Diddy shit as long as you was getting paid and you was a big star? And now that the money's not money and how it once was, the phone calls are not ringing as much, now let me go ahead and spill this Diddy tea. I just be seeing the games that are being played. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find some of the videos. Because I'm just not buying, like, not everybody wants to be a victim. Now didn't nobody know shit. Esther, you knew what you was doing, throwing shade. Y'all had an issue with Beyonce, and it's okay. I don't understand the whole ass kissing of Beyonce. I'll never get it. All the people will win an award and still, oh, Beyonce, thank you for letting me breathe this air at the Grammys. No, get your award. Stop kissing her ass. Just say y'all wasn't feeling her. You know, she wasn't all that. She was taking credit for other people's writing. I would respect that more than the whole victim. Like, I didn't know and they forced me and I was manipulated. Ma'am, you were on the red carpet throwing shade. You were definitely loving being the nice, nasty girl. You were loving it back then because you was hot. You was the next big thing. You had a hot song with Kanye. Now everybody's crying and copping pleas. Why? Keep the same energy y'all had back then. If y'all don't like the girl, y'all don't like this plenty I don't like. And I'm not about to make apologies for it. If I don't like somebody, if I don't fuck with somebody, I don't fuck with them. That's it. And you're not going to shame me into trying to fuck with somebody. If I don't like their spirit, if they don't vibe with me, and they're op for life. And that's okay. We ain't got to like everybody, and everybody don't have to like us. Let me see if I can find the video. It's probably been buried and deleted, child. Everything that's coming up is like, that's not it. Everything that's coming up is all the modern stuff. Carrie Hilson, let's see, red carpet. Okay, here goes one from 13 years ago. Oh, that's a loud ass intro. Because this is one of the viral clips. Okay, let's watch this. Because again, you know, maybe I'm getting older, but I think my memory is still okay. And the way that they're both describing how this went down, I'm not buying it. Because we were there. You definitely were throwing little shade, acting, you know, shady and doing all types of weird stuff on the red carpet all the time. So I'm like, what is everybody crying for? I mean, it's okay if y'all don't like Beyonce. She's not God. All right, let's watch this video real quick. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so while interviewing celebs at the 2011 Soul Train Music Awards. Oh, I missed this part of YouTube. Remember on YouTube when people used to be scared to come on cameras, they would just type shit all the time? They would type dissertations and then you would sit there and read. This is how you know this is old school YouTube tea that I'm showing y'all. Because people don't even type shit no more. So let's continue. While interviewing celebs at the 2011 Soul Train Music Awards, we asked them to kindly hold the November issue of Juicy Magazine and give it a drop. Okay? So y'all see that magazine, Juicy Magazine. This is from the Juicy people that owned the magazine back then. The cover is Beyonce and Jay-Z. Okay, so clock that tea. As you can see, Beyonce and Jay-Z are on the cover. So what happens when we ask Carrie Hilson to hold the Juicy Magazine with Beyonce on the cover?
You want to hold the magazine? Just shout out Juicy Mag. You want to hold the magazine? Just shout out Juicy Mag.
Slow it down.
You want to hold the magazine? Just shout out Juicy Mag. Oh.
I can't tell. I won't tell.
Hey, what's up, guys? She does the drop and then walks. Hold on, let's see what they said. So she does the drop, then walks off, scrawling at our reporter.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Miss Capri, baby. You check it out, Juicy Magazine. Peace.
Look at that mug. She ain't playing. Man, I miss old school YouTube. Don't play with us. Don't play with us, OGs. We've been here from day one. That's why when I seen all that shit going viral in the shade room, I was like, next. Both y'all knew what y'all was doing back then. Y'all don't get to rewrite history. We were here. And that's just one. Let me see if I can find the happy birthday Beyonce. Because I remember the Beehive drug her about the happy birthday Beyonce. Y'all might have to look it up because I don't know if it's going to come up. So again, yes, we keep receipts around here. That's one thing we're going to do. We keep receipts. So again, if this was all innocent and, oh, I just wrote one line and, I don't believe in, attacking other women, why not hold the magazine? If I have no real beef with somebody, man, go ahead. Juicy Magazine. Y'all go ahead and buy this magazine, honey. But when you beefing, you throw some shit. Get this shit out of my face. I don't fuck with that bitch. Let me see if I can find it. Ah, here it is. They're like forcing her to say happy birthday to Beyonce. I found the video. I thought they might have took it off. Happy birthday, Beyonce. It's almost like she's forced to speak. This is short though. It's like 2 seconds. Damn. Hold on. Happy birthday, Beyonce. Happy birthday, Beyonce. Hold on, y'all gotta watch the video. Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay? Because I remember this, like the Beehive passing this around and then attacking her like, yeah, we don't like the way you... We see what you're doing, Keri. This is the video here. She looks like they're forcing her to say happy birthday. Happy birthday, Beyonce. Happy birthday, Beyonce. That was the driest happy birthday. Again, if there's no beef, honey, you be like, happy birthday, Beyonce, girl, enjoy your day. I think she's a Virgo. It's Virgo season. You know what I'm saying? I have more energy for my tea sippers when it's their birthday. But you're saying that it was no beef. Oh, somebody said Sierra. Oh, I'm glad y'all brought up Sierra. I'm glad. Oh, y'all said what did I pick up? Oh, my mother-in-law gave me this the other day. It's a kit where I can stain it and put my plants. I can propagate my pothos. So she gave it to me as a present. I love my mother-in-law. Shout out to her if she's watching. I don't even want to go there with the Carrie Hilson Sierra beef. Let me see, child. I don't even care. Sierra's living her life getting pregnant every other year by her good husband. Now, this was her 16 years ago. Carrie Hilson addressed his Beyonce and Sierra diss. I don't even know if I want to watch this. I don't care. Sierra addresses rumored Carrie Hilson diss. Yeah, put a teacup. So I remember Carrie Hilson was also going after Sierra. Y'all are not going to rewrite history. We were here. Y'all can do all that for Gen Z, but the millennials and Gen X, we were here. So all this, I'm a girl's girl and I don't like to see other women. You didn't like Sierra either, sis. And we fuck with Keri. Keri can sing. She's a beautiful girl, but we're going to clock that T. So all these, tattooed tears, objection. You did not like Beyonce and you also threw shade at Sierra. Just own it. I'm glad my tea sippers remember I see all the teacups. So I'm not buying any of this mess. Her and Ester Dean both need to have several seats. Can't nobody force you to do too much if you really don't want to do it. It's called integrity. And I get it, you're a new artist and, you finally got a buzz and, whatever. But don't just act like there was no way you were forced to sing the diss. You was cool with it. And you ate off the diss, and it escalated your profile a bit. But now that you've kind of fallen off, let's just keeping it real. No, somebody said that T get married. No, my ex-husband. Me and my ex-husband's family, we're like this. My mother-in-law, she's known me since I was like 15. So that's always my mother-in-law. But no, this my ex-husband's mom. Somebody said T got married. No, ain't no ring right here, Joe. No. Yeah, my mother-in-law is my ex-husband's mom. My kids' grandmother. But I've known this since I was 15. So that's always my other mom. So yeah. But hold on. Johnny Blaze says Tierra Marie too. Wait, hold up. Y'all said Carrie Hilson was beefing with Tierra Marie? I didn't know about that one. Now y'all are spilling some new tea. Hold on now. Let me go ahead and do my little research. Carrie Hilson, Tierra Marie. Carrie Hilson, Tierra Marie interview at Carrie Hilson's Perfect World. Tierra Marie confronts Carrie Hilson for trying to jump her. This was a year ago. Tierra Marie calls out Carrie Hilson speaking on past beef in R&B Money interview. I never knew that Carrie Hilson and Tierra was beefing. See, and this is why I don't be feeding into all that, them teary-eyed interviews. Yeah, I didn't know that. Huh. Let me see what this Sierra interview is talking about. I miss old school YouTube. Just, people just did their creative thing. I loved it. All right, so let's see what this Sierra addresses rumored Carrie Hilson diss. I don't hear. Did they mute this?
And then I saw the video you did for You Got Me. Is that going to be on the album? Is that like an
That's actually the title track of the album. It's Basic Instinct and in parentheses, You Got Me. And that record's definitely going to be on the record. I'll give you a little tip on that. That's the starter.
So the album is called Basic Instinct, just Basic Instinct?
Yeah, Basic Instinct.
Okay. And then some people thought you were taking shots at maybe Carrie Hilson on that record?
That record right there is a song that I dedicated to my haters. And I also dedicated to my fans, though. So, that's what that record, was for. It's just me really expressing and getting a lot off my chest, because I'm normally like, I've experienced, you get the haters and stuff like that, and they don't really mean anything. However, let me just say something real quick. Let me just get something off my chest, and that's what that record kind of allowed me to do. And, and again, it's also for my fans, because I even went in on myself. And I was like, I was
Girl, just say you're responding back to Keri because Keri threw shots at you. All this mush mouth, my haters and my fans. Just say that you're sending shots right back to, you're returning shots to sender, bitch. You send me some shots, I'm gonna fly some shots back at you. Just say that and get to the point. They be trying to do all these little manicured interviews and stuff like that. Just say you're returning your shots back to the sender, because Carrie Hilson was throwing shots at Sierra as well. So we're not gonna do that. One thing we do here, we work in receipts. I can't find the Carrie Hilson, let me see if I can find the Carrie Hilson Sierra thing. We heard the little birthday thing. But yeah, Carrie Hilson is just, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, now there's a little interview where she's addressing the Beyonce and Sierra diss, but I don't think she's going to be really honest. We can watch it if y'all want to. Because they're saying that song, the Turning Me On remix, was at Beyonce and Sierra. Trying to see if there's anything. Dishes on Beyonce. There goes another one. Let me see. Carrie Hilson, Beehive. Who remembers the video of her crying on the red carpet after the Beehive? She was begging them to leave her alone. This was like a few years ago. See if I can find it. Here goes another quick interview. Beyonce fans go nuts on Carrie Hilson. Somebody made this 16 years ago, child. This is an old school YouTube video.
Who the fuck is Carrie Hilson?
Oh shit, hold on. This is an OG Beehive member, child. This video shot on a toaster, bitch. This shit look like we shot on a toaster. All right, let's go.
Who the fuck is Carrie Hilson? I know the Hilson sisters. I know Nikki Hilson. And I know Paris Hilson. And I know they got a big ass hotel chain across the motherfucking United States and the world. Who the hell is Carrie Hilson? So I said, well, maybe she must be a bad bitch. Let me, go through my CDs. Maybe I bought a CD at one point. I'm going through my shit. Of course I got Beyonce. I even got, Solange. Got Janet Jackson. I got Keisha Coles. I got Alicia Keys. Got Mariah Carey. Mary J. Blige. Madonna. And Rihanna. Who the fuck is Carrie Hilson at? I don't own her CD. Who is this bitch? So now I'm pissed off because I'm feeling like maybe I'm just out the loop. Or maybe I just don't know who this bitch is. So I'm pissed off. I go to Google. I Google this bitch. I also went on Wikipedia and found her. You know who the bitch is? She the bitch that sings, "Baby, you don't have to flow with me. If you go chicken roll, touch my love is free." That's the bitch that's dissing fucking Beyonce. I've been on MTV, BE fucking T. I even been to them fucking channels on digital cable way up in the 100s to try to find this bitch's video, and I ain't found it yet. I've been up and down a dial on the goddamn radio. Hot 97, Kiss FM, WBLS, Power 105, fucking Z100 and KTU, and I ain't found this bitch yet. The bitch that sings is going to diss Beyonce! Beyonce! Bitch, is you I will knock some shit over in this motherfucker. Turn this goddamn shit over. Who the fuck is you to diss Beyonce, bitch? You stranger? You fucking stranger, bitch? I don't know. I will snatch this motherfucking cloth off and throw it at that tight ass fucking window over there. Bitch, you ain't no motherfucking Beyonce, bitch. You ain't never gonna be Beyonce. I kicked this slip off. Beyonce is the hottest bitch out there. Who the fuck are you? I'll bite your motherfucking nose off, bitch. Don't you come nowhere near me. Stay your ass out of Jersey, because if I find you in Jersey, I'ma fucking rip this damn robe off and I'ma get one arm out, because that's all I can get out. I'ma fuck you up, bitch. I hit a bitch. Like I'm Chris Rock and Rihanna, like he inside of a goddamn limo, bitch. Don't fuck with me. I don't like your ass.
Oh my God. Oh, I was not expecting all of that. That is old school YouTube, old school world star hip hop. Child, when you could do skits, go off, go in. Oh my gosh, that was the golden era of the internet, okay? This is how old this beef is. We are talking about beef from 16 years ago, okay? So again, people took that diss very serious when it came to what they said about Beyonce and even Sierra. So I'm not buying all this. I'm not buying this whole, I was for women and I did nothing. I was pressured by Polo the Don. They all were all in on it. They thought they were going to overtake, out with the old, in with the new, and it just didn't pan out, and that's okay. But don't try to rewrite history, okay? Because she definitely was playing up that nice, nasty persona. She definitely was doing little things to, throw shade. And, again, I'm not saying that Beyonce wasn't doing stuff behind the scenes. Who knows? Because, Beyonce, and they're sneaky about they dirt. So they might have been doing stuff behind the scenes. But, Keri, please do not act like, you just had to sing this song under duress. And don't act like after the song came out, you just let it die down. You were definitely feeling yourself. You were definitely, enjoying the newfound fame. And you were definitely, throwing little shady encounters towards Beyonce. Okay? So that's all, again, I like both her and Ester Dean. Ester Dean is a amazing writer. You know, I like both of them. And like Esther even said, if I was such a bad person and I was so wrong for writing that diss track, why were you in the Dip Below video? That's my song, Dip Below. Let's see if we can find Keri. I mean, if somebody put me in a situation I didn't feel comfortable with, I'm not jumping in their music video. That video so damn old, it ain't even coming up. Shit. Hold on here. Yeah, this is the video. Chris Brown is in the video too. We're gonna watch it on mute.
I told him only had to wear that furry thong.
I'm trying to see where Keri is. Oh, Nelly's in the video too.
Okay, Esther, I need you to shut this store down right, all right? I need everything in order when I get back.
Do y'all remember this video? Dip Below by Ester Dean. This is the video. So again, yeah, that was my song. She's towards the end. Okay, thank you, Lachey. Let me try and move it towards the end. I love this song because I remember Chris Brown was in here. I'm trying to scroll. They said she's towards the end. Chris Brown in his Beat It jacket. Okay, we see Chris. Found her. Let's go. So again, Miss Hilson, if Ester Dean. That's her. So this is why a lot of us, we feel no ways. Like, this is stupid. To like play victim. Then you got the other one writing whole dissertation, open letters. Both y'all were being messy because at the time it was going to benefit y'all. It was going to create a buzz. It's no different than when people diss each other on the track and then, you know, start a rap beef. Same thing. That's what y'all was trying to do, but it didn't pan out. It didn't pan out in the way that you both expected it to. You know, Ester Dean is stuck, you know, working in Beyonce's sweatshop, you know, ghostwriting. Well, not ghostwriting because she actually gets credited for her music. And Carrie Hilson, I haven't heard anything from Carrie Hilson in a while. And, you know, maybe with this new Sympathy Hobo tour, you know, she'll be able to promote her new album and fool the Gen Alpha kids because millennials and Gen Z, we're not buying any of this. We were here. So you don't get to rewrite history. Neither one of them do. So Gen Z, do not be fooled by the tears and the dissertation letters and the open letters. They were both messy, okay? So that is my verdict. Both of y'all was messy as hell, okay? Both of y'all knew what y'all was doing, and both y'all's career didn't pan out the way that y'all wanted it to, per se. You know, they're still doing good. They're still eating. You know, they're not in the soup kitchen. But I think, you know, Keri wanted to be where Beyonce was at. Ester Dean wants to be a singer. She wants to be in the forefront. She doesn't want to write her whole life. You know, and it didn't pan out. But y'all don't get to then rewrite history and play victim. Because Keri was definitely a nice, nasty, mean girl as well. You know, and that's why the Beehive, you see the man had a damn tantrum. You know, they were mad because, like, this kind of came out of nowhere at Beyonce. Sierra don't have no big-ass fan base. So wasn't nobody doing no crash outs for Sierra. So, just keeping it real. Nobody's going to crash out for Sierra. But, you know, we still felt bad for Sierra. But nobody was going to, they're not crashing out for Sierra. Like they are Queen Bee. So that's my opinion on the situation. I think they're both trying to rewrite history and they're both trying to play victims and, I'm all for women. And no, I would just respect that they were just honest and just say they just didn't like Beyonce. Maybe Beyonce did something to them. Beyonce thinks she's all that. Hell, I'm just tired of Beyonce. Just, I remember a few years ago when Keisha Cole kept throwing all this shade at like Michelle and Kelly out the blue. And everybody was like, you're not really trying to shade Michelle and Kelly because Michelle and Kelly like literally mind their business. And then it came out later on, she was really throwing shade at Beyonce, that she really had an issue with Beyonce. Because when Beyonce had the song called Bow Down Bitches, and then Keisha, like, you know, came out all mad about it. It's like, oh, so that's who you was really going for. But you was trying to tiptoe by attacking Michelle and Kelly to see, you know, would the Beehive let it rock? But the Beehive was like, okay, keep going, because we know who you're really coming for. But you're trying to put it in the guise of Michelle and Kelly, but we know that you're coming for Queen B. They all do that mess. Let me see. Beyonce's lace front. She said, what are your thoughts on Soulja Boy losing his case? I haven't kept it with anything with Soulja Boy. I thought you were going to be saying something about Beyonce, given the name is Beyonce's lace front. But what did he lose? Let me Google. I don't know nothing that's going on with Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy ordered to pay $4 million after losing sex assault case. Who did he sexually assault? He's 34. Her lawyer, Ronald Zumbo. They're not showing. An unnamed woman sued the Star. Wait, denied. Did he show up in court? Oh, I guess he did. Speaking outside the court, he maintained his innocence and said he's committed to filing an appeal. Oh, he did something that she got $4 million. What did he do to her? Probably high as hell. Trash. Straight trash. These celebrities, boy. Well, the jury believed her claims of physical and sexual assault. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know about this. Yeah, if they found him guilty, he should pay. He's lucky they're not throwing his ass in jail. That's a shame. Let me read some of these super chats. I'm going to get up out of here. Two Clearance 47 says Keri also did Sierra, but isn't mentioning her now. Only B. I wonder why. Bigger name, perhaps. Exactly. Thank you for everybody who brought up Sierra. Astrology villain of the Zodiac said 999 says I agree with you 100%. Terrence Howard was just talking about building Ultron in 2024. Guess that did not pan out. Now he's a manhood authority, giving me grifter vibes. Yeah, the money's not moneying. So a lot of people are finding ways to, start podcasts and, go viral and get their name buzzing again. Because again, his experience is his experience, and I'm not denying that Diddy tried to fuck him, because from what I hear, Diddy be trying to fuck everybody. He be trying to party and you gotta tell him no, in the words of Cat Williams. But my thing is the fact that so many people were okay with it and sat by. Because at any point in time, Terry Crews came out. And I don't recall any black men in the industry coming to his defense to have his back. They ridiculed him. They clowned him. They said he's too big to get his nuts grabbed. D.L. Hughley did a whole podcast going in on Terry. Meanwhile, Terry went to the Senate hearings against Adam Vanette. Even dusty-ass Uncle Rush Card emailed Terry Crews and told him to drop the case. And remember, Terry Crews busted out Russell, showed the email and everything. And he said, no, I'm not protecting people who violate other people. So again, I say if these people were really serious about wanting justice and wanting to clean up the industry, why didn't they come out and have Terry Crews' back? Why is it now that Diddy's locked up, you want to say something now? But were you cool before? And then, the thing with Justin, let's also not forget, Justin was a minor. He wasn't a willing participant. And at that point, I got to give Usher the side eye, because you took Justin to Diddy, but then you on Howard Stern said that you would not allow your son to be around Diddy. You said hell no when it comes to your children. Sick industry. Yeah, Terry went all the way to Congress and said what he had to say, and nobody supported Terry. So that's why I said right now the money's not moneying. Anything people can do to talk about and go viral and, you know, get their music pushed, get extra attention, they're going to do that. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, you know, Clarence, because Sierra was also dissed, but they're only talking about Beyonce. Because Sierra is marrying, you know, she's married, she's happy, she has her children, she's minding her business. They're not going to get anything viral off of Sierra. So, yeah. Let's see here. Shay says, this is news to me, child. LOL. Soya on the beef. Thank you for the super chat. Deadman Ardell says, laugh my ass off. It's a Beehive diss song on YouTube. Old YouTube was ruthless. Ooh wee. Nothing like old YouTube. I didn't know they had a Beehive diss song. I remember when they drugged Chili by her baby hairs when she tried to shade Beyonce. Yeah, it's not coming up for me. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Let's see here. KCPVD says, hey T, Keri is going on a hobo tour at the end of the day because she agreed to do that diss. She needs to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Love you, mama. Damn. You are definitely part of the Beehive. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Brian Senpai says, thoughts on Madonna and Elton John making up on SNL. I haven't seen it yet. So I don't have any thought. I have not seen it yet. And I can't watch it because it's copywritten, but I'm gonna check it out. I'll check it out and definitely talk about it the next stream. So before I go, because I've been on here for 2 hours and 22 minutes, let's talk about the helicopters that crashed and the plane crashed today. It's getting crazy. So in less than 2 days, first the helicopter crash in New York City, and then in Florida, the plane crashed on the highway. This is sad. Because this is from a sightseeing tour.
Latest from the deadly.
And I did a sightseeing tour when I went to Puerto Rico. So, and we had an amazing time, but this is just so scary because 3 children were killed. And they said that the parents are like some dignitaries from Spain, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and watch this here.
Let's get to the latest from the deadly helicopter crash in New York that killed 6 people. Pieces of the aircraft could still be seen floating in the Hudson River today as divers search for clues into what caused this crash. Fox's Eric Shawn reports.
Divers returning to recover pieces of a helicopter that fell apart midair and plunged into the Hudson River in New York City on Thursday. All 6 people on board are dead, including a family of 5 visiting from Spain. The mayor of Jersey City saying Friday morning the family was celebrating the mom's 40th birthday when the crash happened. The NTSB and FAA now investigating what went wrong.
What we are doing here is gathering the perishable evidence, the evidence that we need to gather for our investigation.
The helicopter was operated by New York Helicopter Tours, and radar reports show it was in the air for less than 18 minutes. Just minutes before the crash, investigators say the pilot radioed in, alerting the team on the ground that he was going to need to land right away to refuel.
We have a whole team that is collecting the standard information, pilot qualifications, logbooks, history of the helicopter, maintenance.
The FAA identifying the helicopter involved as a Bell 206, typically used by sightseeing companies and police. A chopper of that same model lost power and made an emergency landing on the Hudson back in 2013. While investigations are underway, aviation experts say recent maintenance will likely be a focus.
And see if everything was done to the exacting standards that are supposed to be followed.
The videos appear to show the main rotor blade detached from the fuselage of the helicopter in midair. That all part of the investigation. In New York, I'm Eric Shawn, Fox News.
Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, they're saying like it's a CEO, so some people are, there's conspiracies, like were they trying to get him out of his position or something? I don't know. So now the other crash was in Florida on the freeway. We've never had this many crashes ever. Trying to see if they got more information. The latest, let's see. This is sad. It's like, it's scary now to like even fly at this point. So we're gonna watch this video here real quick.
Plane crash in Boca Raton. The twin-engine plane crashed at about 10:30 this morning, causing this scene. You can see the foam on the roadway right there. Emergency crews very busy with that. There's a backup on 95. The airport is closed, and we are learning much more about this from investigators and authorities on the scene. In fact, our Kayla McDermott on the phone with us right now. Kayla, we're searching for more information here. You've confirmed some on the way there.
Yes, I did. I've been speaking with the Boca Raton Airport, and they were able to tell me, as you mentioned, that this is a twin-engine propeller aircraft, and it did not happen at the airport. It happened close to it on Military south of Glades. We do know that Boca Police and the fire department are on scene, and as of right now, the airport is closed as well, just as precaution. Again, it didn't happen at the airport, though, and I have been speaking with parents as well, because this happened close to Boca Raton High School, and they said that their kids saw this plane go down, and they've been taking video, and you can see the smoke and debris, and they're saying that the students can smell it inside the school, which is also currently on lockdown, parents are telling me.
Okay, Kayla, maybe I'll keep you on the phone here as we still take a look at this live view, small plane crash in Boca Raton. We are confirming with the authorities first before we talk about any injuries, any deaths associated with this. But again, you're taking a look at a scene, folks, that started at 10:30 this morning. The airport is closed right now, right in the area of Military Trail and Glades Road. In fact, the Boca Raton Police Department is telling us roads around this, as you can imagine, closed right now. In fact, that overpass also on 95 that goes over Glades Road is shut down for the time being, east and westbound. If you can avoid this area at all, please do. So far, we talked to investigators about that. As you take a look at a map of where we're talking about here.
All right, let me come back on the screen. So I was trying to just talk about the one in New York, but then the one in Florida hit. And then I think it was like last week, if you guys are on my Instagram, we posted about the plane crash that hit the house, and that happened in Brooklyn Center in Minnesota. So that was scary. Now, thank goodness, I think that people either got out of the house or there was nobody home. The pilot did die, but just imagine sitting in your home doing laundry or, watching TV, and a plane crashes into your home. So it's like something is going on with these planes. Something is not right. And then they're saying that they're thinking about stopping all of the sightseeing helicopter tours, because you can see them like on, in Puerto Rico, going over the island, New York, Las Vegas, if you want to go over the Hoover Dam. So they have a lot of these sightseeing tours, but I'm starting to hear that a lot of them, there's been a lot of crashes over the years. I didn't even know that. So that's really scary that a lot of them are not really checking or doing the maintenance as they should, but they're saying that a lot of these have been crashing over the years. So they're thinking about possibly ceasing all sightseeing tours, just because there's so many things that are happening right now with the planes in general. So yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And then the roof in Puerto Rico, not Puerto Rico, in the Dominican Republic, it's now up to 100 people dead. It was at a nightclub, and over they said 300 people were inside, and at least 200 injured, but 100 people died. It's like you just gotta stay prayed up at this point. It's so much going on. I'm trying to see if I can find that plane crash, because I don't think a lot of outlets really reported on it. I report on it because it happened in my city. I don't think it was that far down. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. But if you got my Instagram page, it's on my Instagram page. I just think it's further down. I'm not seeing it right now. Oh, nope, found it. Or is this it? No, that's a wildfire. Okay, American Airlines. It's been so many plane issues. It's crazy. Frontier Airlines. United Airlines. Like, it's like all it's been so many plane issues. But I'm trying to find the one that hit that house. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, y'all. But all right, y'all. Let me read these last few super chats. I'm gonna get up out of here. Lady Lyrical 504 says, T, you heard about the Dominican club collapsing while the artist was performing. Very scary. Over 180 passed. Yup. We have reported on that, and yeah, that is really sad. Man, it's so much stuff going on around the world. It is. It's like you just got to stay prayed up at this point. It's too much going on. Imagine just going to the club like we all do to just have a good time, be around people, and the entire roof just collapses. You know, so just rest in peace to all the people who lost their lives. Hanging Garden of Mobis Centen says the CEO ran Siemens. They created railroad locomotives and rolling stock, and Amtrak was also their biggest customer. Wow. So that's the guy who died in the helicopter crash. 'Cause I know he was with his wife and his 3 children. Because they said that they're from Spain, is what people were saying initially. Wow. Let's see here. KCPVD says, T, you heard about Yandy lying for Mendices. I was hollering, wondering what you thought. Sorry if you spoke about it. You talking about the one about the girl going into the DMs? So did that end up being like real? I don't know much about it. I remember her crying in the camera, talking about, y'all are trying to break up my family. And she said that, you know, it was really her in the DMs talking to the girl. So has that been proven to be a lie? I really want to hit on it. I'm not going to talk about it now. That whole Kenya situation, that pissed me off on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, because I've been back watching it this season. I forgot they were back on until my cousin was telling me. But that whole Kenya situation was really disturbing. So I'm going to probably do a separate video on that. And I also think that Portia is jealous of Shamia. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. I feel like Portia feels a way towards her friend. I don't know. I'm getting weird vibes from Portia towards her friend. But on that note, I've been on here for over 2.5 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log off, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this Friday live stream. Everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe, stay prayed up. And don't forget to check out my deep dive, Mermaids and Sirens, if you haven't gotten a chance to already. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. So I will talk to everybody later. Love you guys. Have a good night, everyone. Bye, y'all.